must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Viewers, good morning Africa, wherever you are. We are looking at the rise from the ashes of the Judiciary of the Republic of Kenya. For the last 2 years, since the nullification of elections of 2017, the Judiciary of the Republic of Kenya has been on the headlines and in every newspaper worldwide, nationally, regionally, and Africa at large. The nullification of that election brought what we call a dual system of courage of justice.
That the presidential election held on 8th August 2017 was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the applicable law, rendering the declared results invalid, null, and void.
The justice that is demanded by civil society, international civil society, and the local civil societies, and the justice demanded by the interest of the nation. Given the two, which one do Kenyans want? Do they want the interest of the nation? In the interest of the nation, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta decided to go back to campaign in order to show the world that he was able, and he is able, and he was the winner. The campaigns took place, an election was reconducted. For the second time, Uhuru emerged the winner of that election. From then, the judiciary has never been a judiciary for the people of Kenya. It has been a judiciary commanded, supported, equipped logistically by either local NGOs or international NGOs that tell them on what to do, not to do. And above all, the situation of judicial officers themselves being activists. We have seen a number of judges acting like activists on the streets, making decisions that are not in the interest of the judiciary and not in the interest of the country at large. The release of terrorists or alleged terrorists from courts using the law, and then the terrorists return to kill many Kenyans, is one of the factors that has caught our eye. In Africa School of Thought, we believe that Chief Justice Maraga and his entire team, or Chief Justice Maraga, the Deputy Chief Justice, Madam Mwiru, have not done a service for this country. They have misused the powers conferred upon them by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya to either do politicking or accuse the executive of being political or being a witch hunter against the judiciary. Time and time again, President Uhuru Kenyatta has pumped in money in the judiciary to raise the standards of the employees of the judiciary, to give the judges freedom and welfare that they are able to conduct their affairs without interference. Is it time now for the Kenyans to say we have had enough of a bad judiciary? Is it time now for us to fight and for Africa to rise up because we see a lot of shrinkage of constitutionalism being done by the judges. If you look at what the judges in Malawi did, they did it in the morning, they reversed it in the afternoon, they ate it during dinner. Is this what Kenyans want? I leave it to you, Kenyans. Our hopes lie on the judicial service, the new judicial service system that has been put there. And hopefully, and only hopefully, that one day we shall rise from the ashes of corruption. Thank you.
With regard to corruption, we will continue to fight. Regardless of what will be said and done, we will fight, and we intend to fight and win. And it is unfortunate that sometimes this is politicized also, but as I said, this is a fight that Kenya must win, because if we can't create not just a fair environment, but a stable environment, it must also then be transparent. So that once you do your business, you know what you need to do, how you're going to do about it. So your business succeeds not on the basis of who you know, but how you do your business. That should be really what all of us should be focused on. Your business should not succeed or fail based on which government is in power. Right? It should be on the basis of the plans and the programs that you have as business people and what your business plan is. And that should be the basis of rating success. And this will happen. This will happen. It will be difficult. It will be noisy. But it will happen. It will happen. It will happen because there's no going back. And this is an agenda I just want to be very, very, very clear about.
You indeed told me that a jobless Kenyan is a desperate Kenyan. You told me also that a hungry Kenyan is a negative Kenyan. You told me that a sick Kenyan is a weak Kenyan. And you also told us that a homeless Kenyan is a Kenyan without hope. You, the Kenyan people, spoke clearly. We want dignity. We want to put enough food on our tables. And we want a lower cost of living. We listened. Since, and on reflection, I have come up with 4 responses to these concerns, and I call them the big 4. Food security, affordable housing, manufacturing, and affordable health care for all.
That is the position on the big 4. Food security, health, universal health care, housing, affordable housing, manufacturing. Many of the people in the rural areas would like to know how food security is very important, to have food enough for eating and surplus for export, to have enough food to feed families. Many people would like to know what universal health care is. We need to start to talk to people, to tell them, to do documentaries. How is the fishing? What type of fishing can be done on a small 1 acre? We need to go out inside in the villages, get our teams that can come up with all documentaries, weekly, daily, so that fishing can be improved. Fishing can become one of the food. When people talk about food in Africa, Miriam, in Siaya, for example, people think of the maize, but fish is also a food item that must be stored, that must have facilities for.
The 4th element is food security and nutrition. Since independence, we as a people have sought to ensure that our citizens enjoy food security and proper nutrition. And while we have made good progress, the challenge, however, remains yet to be fully conquered. It is time to address once and for all the multiple and interlocking factors that leave too many Kenyans at risk of hunger. Our immediate actions start now. We will bring targeted taxation to bear to put arable land to use. We will continue to encourage and facilitate large-scale commercial agriculture to diversify our staples through irrigation and other technologies. We will protect our water towers. Small-scale farmers will receive better extension services and market access, and subsidies will be redesigned to improve food yields and production quality.
We have said 3 items: obstacles, success, and the challenges. One of the obstacles is when the agenda was set out, there was quite a lot of politics that was involved. So time has come for us to remove politics from it and assure the people, the ordinary people, the ordinary mwananchi, citizen of Kenya, that if you have this, you can improve the food security. If you do this, you'll improve the healthcare system. If you do this, if you can plan for a cheaper housing in your local area, a cheaper industry, an industry, a cottage industry. For example, look at what we want people. How many youths can gather themselves into a group in Kayole? 10 youths. If you can be washing people's clothes, ironing them, their shirts, when they come from school, they pay you 300 shillings or 100 shillings, Bob, or 20. And if you are doing that as a small group, this is, you see, a small cottage industry begins there. Then you end up with a huge, dry cleaner in Kayole, made by youth. But most of the people in our African context, especially Kenya and Uganda and other places, people are focused on the government getting them the jobs. But there is a job. There is the youth fund where you can go and borrow 50,000 shillings and buy dryer, buy this, buy that. You iron people's clothes. There are so many people who are lazy who want, I'm not condemning them, but they go to work very early in the morning. They don't have time to wash this cloth. But you can say, bring your shirts here. You'll have them in the tomorrow morning. You put in a dryer, iron, another youth is ironing. You earn your living. You create employment for yourselves and for the people surrounding you.
So job creation.
I want you in this spirit to also turn to the person sitting or standing next to you. Greet them and say how proud you are to be Kenyan, and tell them that you are their keeper. Because to be Kenyan, at its core, is about loving your neighbor.
Associated to 2022, elections have dominated the political arena in Kenya for years and months now. President Uhuru Kenyatta, in the recent past, has warned people not to engage in politics, but engage in nation building and development. As much as the president has given these warnings, the people have not heeded to the warnings. The objective of improving the lives of Kenyans is the most important thing that you need to have. Kenyans need to have their lives improved. Kenyans need development instead of campaigns. Kenyans don't eat campaigns. Kenyans need health care, good housing, industries, jobs for younger generation, and above all, infrastructure to be able to transport the goods that they manufacture and the crops that they grow for export. It is therefore very important for the people of Kenya to understand that with development lacking, the country will not prosper. President Uhuru Kenyatta has emphasized again that the only thing that can bring Kenya to a world-standing nation, a developing nation, is prosperity through unity of purpose. If you are not united, you cannot deliver to what other people, other nations went through and got united. Look at Germany, for example. It had a lot of anger after the Second World War. But today, Germany gives us the loans that we share, that we Google. You Google a company in German and you get what you want. We also global their money, hammer it, eat it every day. Some of us through corruption, some of us through extended kickbacks. But Germany had more anger than any other country in the world after the Second World War. Today, it's a healed country. The only message that Kenyans can take from here is a redemption strategy. The only thing that can heal this country is redemption, forgiveness, reconciliation, restitution, and reparations. And above all, truth-telling and accountability that will bring about the word redemption, which is healing. So for now, those who want to have a better Kenya tomorrow, begin the journey now. 1 inch by inch, move together with your president. The nation will be a great nation. Thank you. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Republic of Kenya in Nairobi. Thank you very much wherever you are in Cairo, in Morocco, Rabat, in Kinshasa, DRC, Congo, in Kigali, in Kampala, in Lusaka, in Harare, in Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, wherever you are in Africa, thank you very much for watching and tuning in this radio and television station. Don't forget we have the radio station, Radio Punchline Africa. It's producing music as we speak now. Don't get tired. Continue listening to Rumba. Just log in, Radio Punchline Africa. Lots of numbers. Any numbers that you want, you can request them. Good afternoon. Viewers, today's topic is very important to the people of Kenya. This is the editor's memo. I want to be candid today, and I will continue to be doing the same until we get a solution from the courts. The judiciary in Kenya is corrupt. Let's accept. Most of the members, very few people, very few of them are clean people. But today I will concentrate on how much we and how far, how much we've lost, how far we have done, gone to fight corruption, how many people have been imprisoned, how many people have been jailed, how many people have been let free, do we have any convictions? These are the questions I'm going to ask this afternoon. I have been one of those who has stated and categorically continue to state, and I have no fear for what I'm saying, because it will set me free. I want to be very categorical that Chief Justice Maraga is not fit to be the Chief Justice of that Supreme Court. I want also to be very categorical, not because he has stolen anything that I know now. I have no evidence, but I have evidence of incompetency. The Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya is incompetent. Full stop. Don't ask me too many questions. He's incompetent. He can't run the court. He can't. The court cannot be run. Even if you gave him 200 billion, the entire budget of the people of Kenya, Mr. Maraga cannot run the court. That is it. And this station does not tell lies. If you want to come for us, we have evidence to show there is incompetence. President Uhuru Kenyatta cried. President Uhuru Kenyatta lamented during his speech in Mombasa. He said he has done his level best. And he said one thing that touched my heart. That, oh ye, I have no power, I have nothing to do. Because you can't sack and imprison people, you can't sack people, you can't replace the Chief Justice without the obnoxious constitution that the Kenyans grapple with today. Chief Justice Maraga does not have a tail, a head, the stomach. He doesn't know where they are, but he sees them. Chief Justice Maraga does not know how to administer. A person who fights for seats, you fight for a seat on a national function. Surely, even Jesus said, when you go somewhere, sit wherever it is, they will call you. Even if you give, my argument here is this, even if you give Maraga the entire budget of the people of Kenya, the entire GDP of Kenya to run a court, he will not run this court, period. I don't know why Kenyans are keeping such a Chief Justice. A man who cannot sentence even a rat. It is sad for Chief Justice Maraga to walk around, to harass people, to become a child, to a baby. You know a baby who cries when you have not given milk. And he says, Daddy, I've seen milk here, give me something. He said, but you have just taken some milk. No, give me more. Even when you give the baby more, she doesn't even want to drink it. She doesn't even use it. Oh gosh, what a pity for the people of Kenya. Viewers, almost every suspect named in the multi-billion scandals that Kenya has faced has walked free. None of them has been imprisoned. None of them has been jailed. The police, the DCI, the DPP try to piece together what is available in an African context. They have tried their level best. The courts and the truth about the Kenyan courts, and I want to stick the truth and stick to the truth. The Kenyan courts are courts for activists. It's not a court for legal people, legal minds. A court in the United Kingdom is respected. Even when you pass near Old Bailey in London, just to pass there when you are alone, you see the trauma in your intestines. If you are told that this is the Chief Justice of the Republic of the United Kingdom, you would like to run out of the shopping mall. The Chief Justice of Kenya Even if you see him, you might think we are together addressing a village baraza. The situation in Kenyan cases comes from a complication of corruption. Morality has sunk so low. The judges lack morals. Some judges take bribes. There was a judge who had a Range Rover bought by a boyfriend who was an office messenger or a receptionist in NHIF. A receptionist bought the similar Range Rover, similar Prado, similar V8, uses the helicopter to fly to go home, and 8 houses. We took photographs. We followed where this rich guy was buying this Range Rover. I'm sorry for the Indian friend of ours who ran through the fence. We are just journalists. We were doing our journalistic work. That Range Rover was cited in the judiciary. The Chief Justice of Kenya, these pictures kept on coming every day. Here is a girlfriend of a suspect who had stolen huge amounts of money from National Health and Insurance Fund. For the people of Kenya, flies looks at Kenyans where he has stolen, flies to go to his house because he doesn't want to be part and parcel of the traffic jam of which he has stolen the taxes that would have eased the traffic jam. This same judge, I will withhold the name for the sake, because in coming days I will be naming every judge that I talk about with evidence, because I'm not going to talk without evidence. If they have evidence contrary to that, they can sue me. Then we can show the entire picture. This judge even warned us, media people, not to take photographs of the boyfriend. What happened then? Maraga became clueless. When these complaints reached the court, Mr. Maraga transferred this woman judge. The woman judge, of course the man was not loving a man, although there is something like that in other countries. A woman judge was transferred away from the Milimani courts to another station. The Range Rover disappeared. But we trust the Range Rover is still there. That case, we were told, we journalists should not even do any photography, should not post anything on social media. I posted. I expected them to come and arrest me. I was waiting. The Chief Justice, the judges to come, because the woman boy girlfriend had warned us not to post, because we had got the Range Rover, a white Range Rover. I don't want to say the number because some other people can take the law in their hands and destroy a life. People are upset with the corruption. People are upset with the corruption. You can't steal money, then come around with bravado, telling people how rich you are, telling people how you can be what and what. People are upset. Kenyans have no money. Even if the president of Kenya gave Maraga 200 billion shillings, Maraga cannot win a case between a cat and a rat. Believe me or not. Because he doesn't know how to get it. He doesn't know how to spend it. The government has pumped money into the judiciary. They cry of money every day. And there are some lazy minds Hallelujah. Lazy minds. God gave us minds to think faster. Faster. Not to be lazy. This is not a communist state. This is a state where people think. Time has come for people to be told the truth. Enough is enough. The Kenyans need answers. Kenyans need operational answers on the ground, put on the table. Maraga has no clue. Maraga has 1 year to go. Pack and leave. Why don't you leave the Kenyans so that do like a Mutunga, give a gap to some Kenyans to find a judge who can be very good and deliver a case, at least one. Viewers, the judge, the lady, became so paranoid that the following morning that car park or the slot for where she used to park the Range Rover, because she had a small car, a Vix, plus the government vehicle. She had a small car. She returned a small car in that same slot. We took the picture also of the small car, and we sent it to the Chief Justice to see. The Chief Justice did not. You know what she did to this lady? He promoted the lady to a head of a department outside, took her to another station away from Milimani courts. That is the tragedy of the Kenyan courts. The Kenyan courts, out of all these multi-billion cases, there is a problem. None has been convicted. I will start by naming some of them. Some of these cases involve senior state officials. The courts cited lack of insufficient funds, insufficient evidence as a reason. Let me ask, you jail a thief 7 years for having stolen a chicken which he did not eat. I wish he could have eaten, then he's jailed. When he's hungry, he didn't eat it, but he was found with a chicken, jailed for 7 years. A man sells the entire office of NCPB. On May 20th, 2018, another multi-billion graft case was unearthed at the National Serious Board. The investigation showed that 1.9 billion was pocketed by 8 individuals. I'm giving just an answer, a smaller thing which could have been done. Before I come to what are the obstacles, what are the challenges? Because these two words, the obstacle and the challenges, they are two different. For example, now, Maraga is the obstacle. It's not a challenge. The Chief Justice of Kenya in the Supreme Court and in the Judiciary is an obstacle. It's not a challenge. The challenge could be, one, the type of evidence could be a challenge. Two, the type of sentencing, the law could be a challenge. The Constitution could be a challenge. But at the moment, the obstacle to the Kenyan judiciary is Chief Justice Maraga. He's a real obstacle. You cannot push because he's covering himself under the law. And that is where the trouble, the rain is beating us. That's where the rain has beaten President Uhuru Kenyatta. That's where the rain is beating the government, the people of Kenya. That's where the rain has decided to destroy us, to kill us, to drown us, to take everybody who does investment in Kenya. Any foreign investment in Kenya dwindles in corruption through such policies like NCPB, which is a clear example of corruption. There's very serious and you know, what pained the people about the NCPB, combine it with the Minister of Agriculture, the former Minister of Agriculture, and the NCPB scandal, is that the cartels were well known. To date, the judiciary tells you, oh, the case will be heard in 2020. We are in 2020 today. How many people remember this case? Maybe even the suspects have gone already to work. They have got new employment and they are working. Maybe some of them have gone to kill the witnesses. Maybe they have compromised and sent money. Not even maybe, but they have sent money and bought. We heard of Mr. Kidelo, the highest ranking charged man in this country. He still has never been convicted for even one for having stolen a shoe. He's still in court, in the largest court. Doesn't the Chief Justice see to sit down, recommend the JSC to recommend to the constitutional making body to make it very clear that this law is not good? Perhaps let's go back and see the challenges, because to balance our argument, we want also to see the challenges the courts receive. They have complained of money. President Uhuru Kenyatta increased, or the parliament, it is not him, it is the parliament that does the money. And there is the Revenue Allocation Commission, which allocates how much each department will get. President Uhuru Kenyatta only signs what has been recommended. He doesn't go to sit down to cut a budget, because the Constitution of Republic of Kenya removed him from budget making process. He's just a conveyor belt of a signature to approve or to say, no, this is not properly legally done, return and do it legally. He doesn't allocate the money. So the blame, therefore, can only come to him, because he's the last man as the President of the Republic of Kenya who should make sure that the judiciary delivers. The judiciary in Kenya has a problem. The judiciary in Kenya thinks that they are independent. Yes, we can say independent, but they have forgotten their interdependence of working with other institutions. That is the three arms of government, which adds the fourth arm, which is the fourth estate, like us, who are the mouthpiece of the people every time when there is a problem. The Kenyan judiciary has a problem. I want to say why it has a problem. The judges cover each other. The judges cover each other. The criminals cover each other. The criminals defend each other. Chief Justice Maraga defended Deputy Chief Justice, another horrible person who should have not been in this court. Deputy Chief Justice Mwiru, the case has taken very long. I did not see in any type of constitutionalism I studied, constitutional law, where a Deputy Chief Justice bites the ear of the husband in a hotel in Nakuru, and the police wait for the Judicial Service Commission to go and charge this person. I want somebody outside there to explain to me how, if they went to a hotel with a husband and the Madam Mwiru bites the ear of the husband, do you wait for the Judicial Service Commission to sit down before the police charge Madam Mwiru, or the police arrest Madam Mwiru, put a charge sheet, bring it to court? This is where Maraga failed. Mr. Maraga failed. I don't want to go to an election because I am part of the election. I'm a friend of the party that he nullified an election. He flew in Hungary to get accolades from George Soros. All NGOs flew there. I have evidence to show what they did there. But for today, let me narrow it here. Look at the situation of the Deputy Chief Justice, this money launderer. This money launderer who launders money with terrorists. Because the company that gave her money has been banned from trading in Britain. And this company traded with our Deputy Chief Justice. When she was caught with her hand in the pot, she turned to the law, to Mr. Maraga, and said, you have to protect me. A battle of lawyers ran to court to protect Mwiru. But Mwiru, I have asked a question, had Madam Mwiru beaten the husband's ear in Merika Hotel in Nakuru, what would happen to her? Any Kenyan out there, answer me. Would the police come, take the husband to hospital, and fail to charge the criminal because she's a Deputy Chief Justice? How bad is this in this country? How bad is the interpretation? The DPP brought up a case and said it is a matter of a criminality that we have to look at. It is not the question of the status in the society. You have committed a crime by biting your husband's ear, and you are a Chief Justice or a Deputy Chief Justice. You are charged by the police, and the police bring a charge sheet. You must take a plea. You must take a plea. Forget the stupidity of people not saying the truth. Oh, we're a legal lawyer. James Orengo on this one, you lost. Morals went down, James. It is very clear a plea has to be taken. You can't wait for the JSC to come and piece up the ear of the husband to listen to the case where the woman had beaten the husband in a hotel in America, in Nakuru. Viewers, I don't know how your criminal justice systems in Kenya, in other countries work. One of the things that I would like to help Kenyans, and I always leave a record. Few years ago, I have been, all the things, you not say that 4 years ago, the things that I said, and I want to be proud of myself. the things that I said 4 years ago, if you look at my writings, my postings, all my websites on Pan-African Forum LTD, what I predicted is here. There's nothing, whether you go on what, whether you go on the French molestation of Africa, every system, political dynamics of this region, whatever I've written on has happened. If you didn't know it today. I warned the people. I have said, and I will continue to say, that Kenya faces structural challenges. One of the structural challenges is the judiciary, which has a challenge of the highest degree. That's why the president cannot sack the Chief Justice, even when the Chief Justice is caught with her hand or his hand in the pocket of the government coffers. That's a challenge. That's a very serious thing that you must change. Kenya needs to change the criminal justice system. I'm now teaching here. Criminal justice system, what is it? The criminal justice system is the courts, the police, the prisons, probation of services. For example, the people that Kenya, the court release now, where are they? I'm asking Kenyans, where are these people today? They have been given bail. Where are they? Some people have signed the police books for 2 years. They will never appear there. We need to change to have the probation officers who can go to the police stations to find out if Amoro, the woman who stole the NYS money, is not in Dubai now. Has she signed her books? Is she sticking to the institutions as directed by the court? These are the laws that the BBI and other things should look into. The parliament should look into this. Where are the probation officers who enforce what the courts have released? Some of the suspects of NYS money, NYS Part 2, like Madame the PS Amoro or Moro somebody, that woman has run away. She might be in Dubai basking in the sunshine. She doesn't follow, she doesn't sign the books. Go to the police stations now. Bail conditions in Kenya have become useless. People commit crime because they will get bail. I'm proposing, and I want to teach. In Rwanda, why the crime rate, corruption has gone down is when you are arrested for corruption-related crime of economic crime in Rwanda, in Uganda, in Ethiopia, you spend 6 months before you are given bail. In Kenya, in fact, in Kenya, you can plan nicely and steal and tell your wife, God don't have the money, give to one relative of ours. I am going to court. Mama, don't worry, Mama. I will be Tuesday, I will be coming. That's why you see, I think the police got frustrated to a certain level that the best thing we can do is to arrest these guys on Friday so that they can appear in court on Monday. Because if you arrest them today on Thursday, tomorrow in court, they will walk free and go back and eat the money. Can somebody in Kenya tell me where is the evidence Where are the suspects that the courts released who stole money by digging a trench, a tunnel in Thika? Where are they? Where are they? Do you remember that money? The courts just said, even go and dig more tunnels. The magistrate told them to go and dig more. Did you see what is happening in the Kenyan court situation of the judiciary? Is as if the other one says, it is not my problem. It is the problem of the constitution. Therefore, I am just pleading to Kenyans to start looking at these things critically. Whether today or tomorrow, or 2 years or 3 years to come, mine is to keep the legacy. Can President Mr. Maraga leave the court so that we can keep the legacy? Because with him, he has tainted the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. He can't perform, he can't suggest like I'm suggesting. For example, in Rwanda, Ethiopia, Uganda, you stay 6 months if you are caught on corruption charges. Corruption, murder, and rape, and something, 6 months. You don't get bail automatic. One of the problems of the Kenyan constitution is that automatic bail. You are not in London. You don't have a social contract. You don't have it. Kenyans accept kabisa, kiliza Ghana. Sema ya kweli, muna. Hakuna social contract hapa Kenya. It's not there. Don't tell a lie, it is there. It is not there. That a person will return, will go home and come back tomorrow. What social contract? There's no probation officer to follow the bail conditions you have given. Let's see, apart from the courts, Maraga talks of money in the courts. Where does the money for bail go? It is his account. It goes into his account as the judiciary. What has he done with that money? People deposit 50 million, 3 million, 20 million, 25 million, 5 million. Where has the money gone? What has it done, Mr. Maraga? Has it built a library for judges? Has it built a canteen for judges? Tell me. I want to see before you ask for more money. The criminal justice system in Uganda works this way. The good thing with the Ugandan criminal justice system is that President Museveni appoints the judges and leaves them to the panel, to the parliament, to approve. If you're a wizard, they tell you to go. If you're a night runner, you leave. If you have no papers, you go away. That's how the criminal justice system in Uganda works. In Kenya, you have brought a disaster on yourselves. You still have Chief Justice behaving incompetently. And then you have a deputy laundering money and fraudulently applying documents of the court to obtain loans. Now, I want to ask you one question. Can this be credible? Where is the credibility here? Where is the credibility in this place? President Uhuru Kenyatta cannot come to sack the Chief Justice because he is protected by the tenure of the Constitution. At the same time, the Chief Justice is incompetent. He doesn't know the tail, the head, and the stomach. He knows only the forward, himself. We have a cul-de-sac. We have reached the wall point where the point of diminishing return has come in Kenya. That if the prosecution, if the judiciary does not help the other two arms of government, we shall reach a polarized state. What makes Chief Justice Maraga to become incompetent worse than he is? He's waiting for something to do something. And when I talk about these theories, some people at times, some of my friends dismiss me. You know what Chief Justice Maraga is waiting? Maraga is waiting for an opportunity where he can silence Uhuru Kenyatta, humiliate Uhuru Kenyatta. That's what Maraga wants to do. That's why he can't resign. And those looking after the president's notes and the books and everything, mchunge hapo. I'm not a Kenyan, lakini chunga siasa hapo. They have connived. They have sent in money, huge amounts of money, to try to humiliate the president. For us who walk on foot, we see a lot, we hear a lot. We sympathize with our president, with Pan-African president, a very good man, but Maraga is waiting. He's waiting for an opportunity to pounce on Uhuru and tell him, I've finished you. Why is it so? Because in the first instance, he hated these two men. He hated the Jubilee administration. Let's not beat about the bush. It's true that we have done a handshake, but the hatred has been bad to the extent that when you look at the number of lawyers who went to court to defend Jupiter Chief Justice Mwiru, then you can understand the complex situation that Kenyan judiciary and the Kenyan government is in as we speak. We should have brought some clips. I don't know why my production team is not showing some of the clips of the cases that have, or some of the things in the court. But when we come in the second part with my co-host, who is coming in so that she asks questions of the things that we have, how far we have gone. How far have we gone in summary? The DPP report says they have fought corruption. The public prosecutor, Director of Public Prosecutions, Nurdin Haji, said they recovered $20 million in the first half after he had been appointed, which is equivalent to 15.3 million pounds from corruption cases. However, this is only 1% of the $2 billion, which is $1.3 billion pounds worth of public money involved in high-profile cases. In the recent years, therefore, high-profile politicians and public servants have been arrested and prosecuted for corruption, but none has been convicted. Why? Why? The problem is very simple. The courts connive with the politicians. Politicians make noise and say our tribe has been targeted, or our governor, or our MP, or our senator has been targeted. They look for a magistrate who is in favor of the senator. We lose the case from there. I remember one of my friends Moses Kuria, I don't know how many times I've paid his bail conditions. I've helped him. He has never returned my money. And I'm honest all the time. Kuria at times returned some of the money we paid on M-Pesa to remove you from jail. Since you embarrass and insult the president all the time, who is a friend of ours, like me, I feel so bad. Return some of that, my money that I put on M-Pesa to remove you from jail. Because there is a time when you didn't have the money. Fortunately enough, now you have also swung on the side of where the eating maggots are. And you have plucked in it. You have the money, but you don't pay the debts. That is a topic for another day. But the problem that we have here is for us to blame. In summary, it's for us to blame. If you are a court officer, you are an advocate of the High Court, it means you serve the court. And you serve your client, but you serve the court. You don't connive. I want to tell you one thing in Kenya. There is no defense lawyer in Kenya. It is money that defends you in Kenya. Show me one defense lawyer who says comes to you and tells you, David, it's true, you have sinned. You have sinned under the law, you can go for 2, 3, 4 months. But let's mitigate through the law to judge. He comes and tells you, "Ye case, I will fix it." In Kenya, we have fixing lawyers. We have fixing court judges. We have fixing judges, fixing advocates. They fix cases. They don't win cases. There is no legality in this court. We have activists. I'm so upset to the degree that I took a case of work envelope. And I want to tell Kenyans why I'm bitter at times. I'm not going to be like a CJ Jirongo. CJ Jirongo was very bitter last night, and thank you very much, Comrade Jirongo, for revealing some of the things we did not know. But look at this. I took the case of work envelope. There is a judge there. There is a judge there who took my money. And he's shameful. He's there for 2.5 years. And what was I? I was serving Kenya. I was saving Kenya. I was saving Uhuru. I was saving Ruto. I was saving anybody so that these cases never comes back. I tell you, I suffered. The judge is there. I won't mention him. But one day, I will mention him when we are about to enter. Either he goes to hell or heaven. You know, there is a waiting room up there where we all wait. He's there. He told me, he took me this way. Every time I went to the court for 2 years. 2 years. Asking for the envelope. Asking to expunge, those who know English language, to expunge the work evidence from the Kenyan books, so that in the future, if I'm dead and I'm gone, if I'm gone and then my God has called me for other duties, nobody brings these cases back in Kenya. I was doing it for the good of this country. Out of my pocket, I lost 6 million shillings. Legal fees, transport to Hague, service fees, serving the chief prosecutor. Those who were in London, in Hague, saw me bring the documents to the embassy of Kenya so that they can be served to the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. You cannot just go and serve them without passage through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. How many days tickets to Geneva to look for Campo, to look for Kofi Annan? I spent my money from my savings of my children. I lost 6 million and another bill of 1 million to my lawyers who are watching it today, which I've paid. And I lost for the sake of Kenya. And the judge who made me lose this money is in this court. He's in this court. He's in his court. He's there. He's there. I lost. This was for your country, not mine. There you are. Because I have no country. I was doing it because I knew one day the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. Did you hear what Kimani Ngunjiri was saying? Did you hear it yesterday, you people? Have you seen the type of conspiracies that take place here? Ngunjiri Kimani yesterday said and told seriously on tape that the ICC have been talking to him. Whom does he want to fix? Because they still use work envelope. I wanted to save this country. People did not listen to me. But to play in the name of God, I am saying, I'm still here. The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court is going this year. But remember, she might not go alone. Therefore, those who have undermined me, subjected me to all conditions of humiliation, I pray that I still remain focused as a patriot to help again. If you have the Kimani, Ngunjiri Kimani, telling people that ICC is going to take some people, it's very regrettable. I wanted to sort this mess out. One judge took me 2.5 years. 2.5 years in this court here. Is that the court, the judiciary you want? That's Maraga's judiciary. They finally said they are taking the file to Maraga to allocate. While they were allocating, one judge died without, just in the morning. The only one who said this man has a case, as a point, technically was knocked out. God woke up in the morning, he died. And may his soul rest in peace. Brother, you are very good because you reasoned very well in your judge writing. But that is the type of life that we have. Judicial officers have also helped to bring headache in the court. Judicial officers are advocates both on the prosecution side and defense. If you are a judicial officer, act as a judicial officer. Thank you very much. Don't go away. Keep watching. We now come to the final phase of 10 minutes to 15 minutes, questions from my co-host to me. Thank you.
To be here today to participate with my brothers and sisters in this very important forum when we are reflecting and thinking about our country. When we are thinking about our country, we are thinking about ourselves, our people at home, and the generations to come. Mine is to assure you that we are doing our best as far as investigations are concerned. But at the same time, we do have quite a number of challenges, though they have not reached a point of dispiriting us, or rather demotivating us. We are trying to say that I wish everybody in this war of corruption may come on board. One thing I can say is, even before we go for some investigations outside there, some of the frustrations which really pull us down is some of the strange orders that we receive. Other than even starting the investigation, we are stopped even before we record a statement from somebody who you know very well are stolen from Kenyans. You know very well, and all Kenyans know, we are pursuing this person, and it's not something we're imagining. We all know, and we cannot lie to ourselves, surely, and everything can show, but we are stopped even before questioning that person. And when we receive some of those orders, like another one which I received just the other day, I was not even at the stage of even pursuing that person whatsoever. Then when the orders came, I read them very well. Do not use the door to go and arrest Mr. Hay. Then I said, okay, why is this preemptive? Then I said, fine, I consulted my regular advisors, they are here. And then I said, no, through my information, there is a window. If I cannot use the door to go and take Mr. Hay, then I'm going to use the window. And once I get through the window, I get a smoking gun, which is killing us. Just smoking, just immediately from murdering us Kenyans. When you steal from us, the hospital money, loans money, development fund for this country, what do you think you are? You are not better than that terrorist you are battering there in the Dusit and other areas. Then, immediately, faithfully carrying our smoking gun, then what happened? You are told, don't dare, don't even bring this smoking gun here. Don't even touch that person. We are bad. Please listen to me. I have it here. Why don't you give me 10 minutes even to demonstrate I'm not malicious? Surely this is what I have. Then if I am, prove me within these 10 minutes. Nobody is ready to listen to us. What I can say is, thank you for prayers and support from Kenyans. I know very well that issue of mafia in Italy. It was completely almost replica, the capture of the mafia. The way the war was won, and the people's cry, they were wiped and dry their tears. It was through the corrective working.
Viewers, welcome back to our second part of the show. And I'm joined in by none other than Miriam Ogutu. Good afternoon, Miriam.
Good afternoon.
I have been a lone ranger here, and I hope you have captured a few things that I talked about: the judiciary, the weaknesses, the incompetency, the corruption, the bribery that takes place in these courts. We don't have any conviction, zero on major cases. President Uhuru Kenyatta cried. He said, lamented, he can't do, what can I do? Everything, money has been given. One question I want to put to you before you put several to me. What do you think, even if you give Mr. Maraga, Chief Justice Maraga, 200 billion per year, 200 billion shillings, can he help this organization? Over to you.
All right, and thank you so much, our viewers, where you're watching us from. Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. Well, while defending the judiciary, the Chief Justice David Maraga has sometimes come out and cited some challenges the judiciary is facing, and of course he's mentioned money to be a problem before that. Judiciary is not allocated enough funds, and so you're saying even if the judiciary is allocated more funds, then will he be able to, will the court be able to adjudicate properly, especially in matters concerning corruption? Well, the other thing that also the CJ also noted that also hinders how in the manner in which they're able to prosecute these cases properly is the evidence that is brought to the court. And so I don't know if they're given enough money and they're able to run the courts. But another challenge that they're saying, the cases that are brought to the court to them, they're not, thorough investigation is not done. Still, I think there will be a loophole there that the judiciary may not be able to, prosecute these cases properly. So I think it's not just about the money that sometimes the CJ complains about. I think it's other reasons and sometimes excuses that adds to why the judiciary is not able to prosecute, especially matters of high profile that are of high interest to Kenyans, and that is the scandals that we've been seeing and the corruption that has really, almost bringing our economy down.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much. That is what I believe. He cannot do it, even if you gave him the money. Because that court needs tools of management. There's no management in the court. Everything is free fall for everybody. Your questions, please.
All right.
If you have any. Or contribution.
Okay. So, of course, before I ask some questions, of course, President Uhuru Kenyatta, while speaking in Mombasa a few days ago, he talked about arrays of issues and things that he seeks to address, and some things that really concerns him, and that day that he fired the CS Mwangi Kinjuri. But above all, when he talked about judiciary, President Uhuru Kenyatta seems to be still very frustrated by the manner in which the judiciary is handling some of these cases. And there's something that he mentioned that I think even left Kenyans really was a food for thought for Kenyans in terms of how our judiciary operates. On when he mentioned the Akasha brothers case, as you know, and I'll quote what the president says: "I think it is a shame on our country that we prosecuted a case against drug traffickers and we could not get a conviction within a year of them being arraigned in the United States. They have been jailed for not less than 25 years. That is something that our judiciary must come to terms with." So this is an indictment of, the Kenyan judiciary, because we know the Akasha brothers case has been all over the media. It's been a high-profile case, and for so many years, and they've not been jailed, but they went to the U.S., and they were able to have a jail time after going through the court process. So this really was a light bulb in how the manner in which a Kenyan judiciary perhaps sometimes operates, and left a lot of questions from Kenyans, really, if these cases, we've been seeing them in the media all the time, and nobody was ever convicted. They go to the US, and before you know it, these guys have been slapped with several years in jail. So what is really happening in our judiciary? So you could see the president's frustration with the judiciary. So, doctors, at the start of this year, I think there are so many cases, the high-profile cases that the judiciary is supposed to be looking at this year. Of course, we've never had the end of the NYS scandals. We've seen the May scandals. We've seen the Kenya Power scandal, the NHIF scandal, and this is a make-or-break year for the Kenyan judiciary. Can we have confidence that they will be able to look at these cases and make a favorable, judgment?
In a nutshell,
as Kenyans are looking forward?
Miriam, no. There is nothing. I don't think. There are a few judges who are very good apples. The rest of the apples are rotten, including the Chief Justice Deputy. You see, he has paralyzed the court. The court now is paralyzed in the sense that you cannot sack the Chief Justice, there will be no deputy. Because the deputy is still hanging on. So if you say you take a petition against the Chief Justice, who will take over the post? Nobody. So he has caught the government in their trousers, in the their pants, in the knees. The government cannot move. He has used that technicality. And he knew it. There was no need of the Deputy Chief Justice case. I brought a very good example of the woman biting the ear of the husband in a hotel, in Nakuru. Does the police arrest him or arrest her? For example, the Chief Justice had an accident in Nakuru. Did he wait for the judicial service system to come and carry the car? Or he called the police? Where was the car taken? To the police. And the police made a statement from the people who were involved in an accident. So why should the Deputy Chief Justice, who has committed crimes, the court sat down and said the evidence was even got badly? How do you go to arrest a criminal? In London, whether it is 3 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 5 a.m., police will take you. Whether you're a minister, a prime minister, in those countries where democracy has stabilized, I did. You can see the prime minister of Nature now is being arrested, charged for corruption. He was taken to court. He was arrested by police. So many people in those countries. That's why we still have a long way to go, Miriam. A very long way for us to think of life will come here. President Uhuru Kenyatta, I want to thank him because we have not had that interview since that speech with you. I don't think we have had, have we?
Not so much. We tried there, I think, yesterday.
I want to thank him, but he should go deeper. He should have not done perestroika. Perestroika for me is not very good. He should have done an overhaul
of the whole cabinet.
Yes, but it's okay, Mr. President. What you have done is under your powers. I have no powers to direct you what to do.
And speaking about that, of course, you've been very vocal about Mwangi Kiunjuri.
Yes.
And his underperformance, and now he's gone. Is there somebody else you feel the president has left there who should be out of the cabinet?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then you want it means yes. Do you want me to say it? Well, do we start on another one?
You've been vocal with Mwangi Kiunjuri. So
yes, there are people there who should not be there. Mm-hmm. I am happy. And tomorrow, in the morning, Good Morning Show, we are doing diplomatic leaks. Mm-hmm. And that's our topic. Kenya's foreign policy. Mm-hmm. Kenya's foreign policy. The score. How far has it done? We want to thank the president for doing a marvelous job and for people to have done what we can. Are we safe? Are we safe? We are doing Kenya's diplomatic leaks tomorrow. Diplomatic leaks. And Kenya, how far is Kenya? When? Very far? Inside? Are we going to get this Djibouti? Against Djibouti? These are things we want to chat tomorrow. What strength do we have with the coming of Madame Amamo? I am very pleased. One, she's an activist.
Rachel Omamo.
Yeah, Rachel.
Can we judge how she performed in the Ministry of Defense when she was the Minister of
Very well. Have you seen any scandal?
Maybe we could look at that and see.
Yes, we shall. Any scandal? No scandal.
But her performance, you could be there, no scandal, but you're not performing.
Ministries that have scandals. Well,
those are very
have you heard of the story? What happened on Harambe Avenue?
What happened? Today or when?
No, the day the president announced the changes.
Yes.
There was plenty of noise in one of the offices.
You mean the press conference that happened?
No.
There's another thing that happened.
Yes.
Okay. Can you?
When the president announced, you know me, I'm a foot soldier.
Okay.
I walk on foot, so I listen to so many things. Mm-hmm. You didn't see. You have not. The Arambe house opposite here in the ministry. People took about 30 minutes.
I know Harambe House, and then the DP's office is open.
And then that Foreign Affairs Ministry.
Yes, just behind.
There was jubilation and what is the other word?
People love that.
There was a lot of noise made.
Okay.
Even people, knocking metals.
So that means that...
I don't know. I don't want to discuss what was there, but everybody, people crowded outside thinking what was going on.
Well, if they were happy that their boss is going... So
no, I don't know.
That means
but I am only telling you what I should tell you. But as far as President did very well on that. On changes that are here. Ministry of Health, Mr. President, you have done well to transfer Madame Sicily. She's my friend, but whenever I meet her, I always tell her off. And she tells me off.
She was given another ministry.
Yeah. The Ministry of Water and Sanitation. She needs to work in these villages.
I don't know. Maybe she's another person who should not have been given another ministry. If you were to ask me my personal opinion.
Yeah, even Kenyan, we better do it.
The way she handled the Ministry of Health.
We better do an opinion poll.
I don't think she deserved another ministry. That is just me. That's just me.
We have been conducting a poll on our international and relations and foreign policy of Kenya. So I will release that poll tomorrow also. In the categories, how far we have done, what can we engage in Africa, how far we have done engagement, what is new, what is waiting for us on Somalia, what can we do to make sure that the conflict gets finished, gets out of the court, what can Africa do? For example, there is a conference in London where most people will attend, heads of state, but some countries have been singled out and told not to attend. Can Africa, when will Africa say, if you have not called another country and you have called us, we are not coming?
They've singled out other countries not to attend this conference. Why?
Yes. Zimbabwe has been singled out. And Zimbabwe was told, don't come. Yet it's an African country. So you tell me, why should Africa?
She has children to raise. Kiunjuri also had a family to look after.
No. Don't.
And
the name of Kiunjuri, don't bring it here because it can make things sour.
I'm just saying. Kiunjuri also had.
Miriam, I sat in a hotel. Kiunjuri did not know it was me. The way he talked about the president, if Uhuru had listened, he would have sacked him on Jamhuri Day. Or that day after Jamhuri. So badly. Then I said, I wondered what type of cabinet is this? I listened. I sat in the next chair until we said, what do we do? With my friends say, let's move away. This is too much. So that is what we shall look at.
Yesterday, Doctor, I remember when you were trying to have an interview through Skype, the signal had a problem, and there's a question I was asking because really we've not had a show together after the president made that speech in Mombasa, and I was just wondering, maybe he has been listening to us talk here and saying that if he really needs for him to implement these big four agendas, then he has to put the right people in the places that people will be responsible and perhaps to share the same vision as he has for Kenyans. So do you think that the president at this time has decided, you know what, not prisoners, he just wants to deliver to Kenyans because he realized the time is quickly ticking and he needs to deliver the big four agenda? That's what necessitated this reshuffle and the sacking, or I don't know, what's your opinion on that?
Definitely for president to be hearing us, he does. He does. That's not a lie. We are not lying to anybody. He does it. He's always on. If he doesn't see us now, these steps will be taken to him. He's the head of state. There are other people who are watching us on his behalf. And they make recommendations. For us in this studio, we talk about things we defend the legacy. We tell him time is running out for the legacy. 2.5 years left. You either do it or you don't. If he doesn't do it, it is up. We have to help him to do it. You have to. And one of the things that I always find, I woke up today at 4 to write. And I think now you have discovered I write very carefully, don't I? I don't know whether I've sent something for you. I was writing at 4 and I looked at myself. I said, today let me talk about Franz Fanon, or Fanon France. You know, the French turn the words. And I said, is there somebody here, a Franz Fanon, who has brought, you see, yesterday Kenya was a very organized state. I don't know whether you also saw.
Yesterday?
Yes, a very interesting day.
Where was I? What was happening, Doctor?
You lost it on TV. You didn't see.
What time?
You didn't switch it to Gachoka. You should have, Gachoka brought a program that everybody switched to KTN. Because they listened to something they have never had. Me, I was, you know, as if what this man was speaking is exactly what I've been complaining about. Mr. Jirongo made serious allegations. Not allegations, but he said, the show was, no, I think, if I wish they gave them 3 hours.
Mr. Cyrus Jirongo.
Hey, you go and Google it, you follow it, is point blank.
Yeah,
is it called point blank?
Point blank. So
yes, please.
What is the one thing you said that stood out for you?
Oh, whoa.
just one thing.
He says the deputy president started stealing when he was very young. He gave him a job.
They were together?
He was brought by...
Why 92?
No, he was brought by somebody for a job. He gave him a job. Then he gave him to go and print T-shirts. But he printed only 1,000 shirts, but delivered... he delivered 1,000 shirts 100 times, which is hot air. That one broke my back. I laughed. And then he says, there is something that Mr. Jirongo said that is still sticking in my brain. That after he has used you, he starts damaging you. Then he moves to another person. Wow, that was very damaging. Which is very true. Jirongo was saying he used Raila Odinga, dumped him, picked Kenyatta. Then he said, Kenyatta cannot, with the behavior of Kenyatta, they are not compatible. So then he went further to say, like now he's scheming, he will say, I'm going for president. He will pick Mr. Mwangi of Equity. The purpose is not after that now I've captured this presidency, you will be deputy and I will hand over this. The purpose is,
I hope the Equity owner was just an example.
An example. No, he even said it.
I don't know him to be political.
The guy did damage. Mom, if there is any, you go and look at the tape again.
I've seen people talking about it on social media.
No, you know, even if you say you have supporters, even some of these supporters start saying, you know, a madman or a drunkard is the one who tells you exactly the truth. So if you say Jirongo is mad, then he's telling the truth. Because with madness, the words are not held back. Because the wires are off. Those wires that keep the words.
The filters.
Thank you, ma'am. Hey, it was.
But Jironga,
he said another thing that they went and opened a company. The court took cars. Then the boss went back and opened his own company. The money which is supposed to be paid, instead of paying back the loan, Girongo, I cannot believe it, Cyrus. The money was going to the loan. So the loan company came to say, what is happening? The Girongo says, I paid the loan. I'm paying every month. He said, no, there's no money that is arriving here. He went back to Imiroro and the Kimiroro Dam. He said, this is true. It is the tactics used. 7 billion, 221 billion. I'm speaking just also like if you are seated at a tea place in the evening with fellow men, I think there is something in your village called that talk after you have finished all your work. Men even gossip in bars. Women gossip at the well.
When you're rewinding.
Now you even have the best words. Rewinding. This is where women, marriages break. Oh, my husband these days comes home at 12. That's where the trouble is. Don't ever encourage those type of talks. Oh, mine, I think, I last got a dress. Please, I am also a domestic counselor. Counseling services. Don't listen to that. Oh, you know, but Mudara, you are here. But you know, your wife, I saw her in the other place the other time. Don't ever do that. Because you can bring problems. But in a nutshell, on a shorter basis, Jirongo made the day for Kenyans last night.
You'll make me go look for that interview. I was not able to watch it.
I think
I'll get it.
Our manager, our manager for communication, for social media, Mr. Jeff,
should forward that to me.
She should forward the tape to us all.
Okay.
To view. It was fantastic.
Okay.
I switched between, because some of the things I was laughing, because the things touched, they were true. So I switched to Jeff Koinange, came back, because the governor there was also making very good points. Governor of Makueni, a self-made guy who has excelled, and he wants to be the president of Kenya. So I was switching between there and this way. So both of them. But that tape, that clip, wah. Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much. We want to thank you all. Tomorrow is Diplomatic Leaks, and the subject is
Kenya foreign policy.
Yes.
Yes.
Kenya's foreign policy on is Kenya, if I want to say, is Kenya.
We shall work it out.
We shall work it out, and you'll get.
But tomorrow.
And David of Germany.
No, he's saying good afternoon, myself and you. He's saying he's writing to us from Germany.
Thank you very much, Ogembe Omot Ochan.
How do you tell him good afternoon?
Guten
Tag.
Guten Tag.
G is a K in German.
Guten
Tag.
Guten Tag.
I'll go with that.
No, Guten Tag.
Thank you.
I can pick it. Guten Tag.
Thank you.
In Berlin, Guriti Muguna.
He's still there.
By the way, We are living without Miguna.
We need an update. You seem to be having the 411. So what is the latest?
Not 411. I seem to have knocked his soul.
You have 999.
No, I knocked his soul.
You don't knock people's souls.
No, I knocked him and touched him.
So what is the latest from Miguna?
I told him, keep quiet.
Is he quiet?
Yes, he's not writing anything bad anymore.
Anything bad, or he's still writing?
No, I have not seen tweets that people quote. Is now, I said, turn down and go to the Berlin embassy, fill the forms, go back to Toronto. If you have money, sleep around Europe there. Since you don't drink alcohol, drink tea from Hamburg, Frankfurt. There are trains, enter the train, relax. The passport will come and you come home. But stop this stupidity, Miguna.
Has he attempted to, or he's not updated?
He can't,
has he attempted to apply for those?
He has now seen the logic.
Okay.
Even if you go to court 1 million, you are not a Kenyan until you have a Kenyan document boarding you on an airline heading to Kenya. That is the bottom line. You will not get there. Miguna will not leave that place if he doesn't have the Kenyan document. Because if he has the Kenyan document, it means the Kenya government has no red alert on him.
All right. I hope that he's working on getting those documentation. Miguna, he's been telling people to organize and strategize and be quiet. Just organize and strategize. And so, yeah, let's see. I wish he could go and attempt to fill in those papers and see if he's denied, and then he can come and say, you know what, they've said for me, they asked me to do this, and I've done it, and I've not received that. But so far, I don't know. I've not checked the latest, but I hope he's even trying to fill those forms and acquire his passport so that he can come, back to the country. Yes, and all right, our viewers, thank you so much. Do we say our byes?
We want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for having listened to us. The judiciary was our topic, very hot. What we say, we have evidence on it. Maraga is still competent. He is incompetent. We have not said he's corrupt. Those who might find him corrupt will, but he's incompetent. Thank you very much from me, Dr. Matsanga, and
from Miriam Agutu. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.